Hey, what's up? So, yeah, with the new season, or sorry, with the release of Conquest, we've had new data mine cards, and apparently they're pretty cool. So I thought we should look at them together. I haven't seen them before, except for the season pass card, which is Daikon, I think it's pronounced. But yeah, without further ado, I'll get right into it. So the first card we have is Annihilus, which is a non-reveal. Each of your cards randomly choose a location to move, and it's a 6/5. So obviously 6/5 is not great power. We're looking at the same stat line as Doctor Doom, but Doctor Doom adds 5 power to each lane. So does moving your cards across the board really worth this stat line? I don't really think so. Not as of yet, at least, but it's pretty good against all those storm decks, all those lockdown decks with Spider-Man, Storm, and obviously it's really good with all those different move decks, right? We could get some move proc. The only issue I have here is because most move decks actually end up having a lot of cards on the board. So if there's a lot of cards, there's probably not going to be a lot of room for to move. So we're going to have to see how it works. Because let's say we have the left lane and the right lane that are full. And then we play a Nihilus mid. Do the left and right lane, are they going to swap? How's it going to work? We'll have to see. But it's a really interesting card. It's going to be fun. We might play it instead of Heimdall or with Heimdall to have a different last turn finisher. But for me, this looks like a Hela type of card where there's just too much randomness. And I don't think it's going to be consistent enough. But overall, it's still a really fun card. I'm happy it's going to be added to the game. By the way, I forgot to mention, but all these cards are subject to change. It's what have been data mined, but they could change before the release. So just like try to keep an open mind. But it's just fun to see at the state of the cards right now. But a lot of them do release how they were data mined. So I think this one definitely needs a buff for sure. The next card is Black Knight. So that Black Knight, I think that's the guy we saw in Eternals in the end credit scene. So Black Knight is a 1/2. When this is destroyed, draw a card. So this goes with the whole destroyer archetype, obviously. But it's probably meant to go with the season pass card that we're going to see shortly. So a 1/2 stat line for when this is destroyed, draw a card. I think that is actually really good. I think that's really consistent. Let's say you draw it on turn 4 and then you have your Killmonger. That's like a free card. So yeah, I think that card is actually going to be pretty good. It's going to have some play, but I think it's a fair card. I think it's well balanced the way it is. It's nice to see second adding more drawing mechanics. So yeah, I'm excited for that card for sure. I'm just hoping it's not going to be a Series 5 release. It doesn't have that crazy of an effect. But yeah. All right, next up, we have Blink. Okay. Remember, I haven't seen these cards before. Blink is a 3/1, so the old rogue stat line. You can move this each turn. When it moves, +1 power. Okay, so we have vision, or weaker vision, with a better effect actually, a 3/1. When you can move this each turn. When it moves, +1 power. So if you play on turn 3, you moved it on 4, it's at 2. On 5, it's at 3. And on 6, it's at 4. So that's like a 3/4 if you move it every turn. But it's going to trigger Kraven. It's going to trigger Miles Morales. And a lot of other move mechanics. So I think that is a really good card, actually. 3/4 is already a really good stat line. Remember, we have like Lady Sith, which is a 3/4. I think the effect can be compared to Lady Sith. Yeah, it's another move card. So move is going to be very powerful very soon. Next up, Blob. Okay, Blob. I've seen that card actually. It's ongoing. Nothing can move this to another location. I think this is a bad card. I think this is a much worse Colossus. Colossus is 2/3 and can't be moved, can't be reduced, can't be destroyed. So as a 3/4 for Blob, I think it's just a horrible card. They really need to buff him. Maybe give him a 3/5, or maybe even if they give him a 2/3 stat line, it's gonna be just a worse Colossus version. So I'm not sure. I think this is gonna be pretty bad. We're not gonna see any play as of its current state. So yeah. Next up we have Bullseye. What does Bullseye do? It's unrevealed. The next card you draw will be a 2-cost card. This is pretty cool. I think for like all those Mr. Negative deck, this will be a staple, because on turn 1 you draw Bullseye, and then you play it, and on turn 2 you're definitely gonna draw your Psylocke or your Zabu. And keep in mind, you don't have to play it. So if you already have, if you don't have your Mr. Negative, but you have your Psylocke and your Zabu, or either or, you just don't play Bullseye. Play another 1-cost, or don't play anything at all, and so your draw won't be affected. The fact that you have that flexibility is really good. So I'm sure this card is going to be played in some decks. Other combo decks are going to be using this card for sure. Okay, next up we have Dakin, or sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Dakin, or so it looks like I'm not familiar with that character from the comics, but it looks like a Wolverine clone or something like that. So on reveal, add the Muramasa shard to your hand. And what does the Muramasa shard do? It's a 1/1. When this is discarded or destroyed, double Dakin's power. So this is really cool. So basically, Dakin's gonna be a 3/8 if we're able to destroy or discard Muramasa. And yeah, that's really cool because it pushes the whole archetype that Wolverine has. Also, that I guess it makes sense that it's a Wolverine clone. The whole destroy or discard package. We only have one other card right now, which is the Wolverine card. But I think this card could be played just like Wolverine could be played in destroy or in discard. So yeah, I think this is the season pass card. It's gonna be a good season. I think it's a fun card, not too powerful, not too weak either. Yeah, that's what a season pass card should be. I think Ghost Spider also nailed that power level really well. So yeah, that's a really cool card. I'm excited for Dakin. Once again, I'm not sure how he's pronounced. Yep. So next up, we have Echo. So remember Echo from the Hawkeye series in the MCU. So Echo, she's Death. Remember in the series. Description: after your opponent plays an ongoing card here, remove its ability. Wow, this is crazy. So this is like a Cosmo for ongoing, but for a 1-cost. So with a 1/2 stat line, I think this card is busted. It's really good in almost every dex. It's also a way to protect from Cosmo, right? So let's say you have Shang-Chi and you want to Shang-Chi a lane, then you can Echo, so the opponent won't be able to armor nor Cosmo, and then you can Shang-Chi or Enchantress or whatnot. Because here it's only your opponent that loses the ongoing, right? I would have wished it's all cards, so then we could have played those, played it in a 0/0 type deck. But yeah, I think this card is really powerful. I'm not sure how or where it's going to fit in the meta, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be there somewhere. Okay, we have, I think it's, yeah, that card's called Flats, which is an ongoing adjacent location, have +1 power. So basically, this is worse or better Mr. Fantastic. I don't know. I don't know. So it has the 2-2 stat line instead of the 3-2 stat line, but adds 2 less power. So if you add all the power up together, this is a 2-4, and Mr. Fantastic is a 3-6, right? So I think it has pretty much the same use. The other way to see it is like a Squirrel Girl, but for 2-2, which is bad. But then once again, it doesn't fill in the board. So it's like a Squirrel Girl that's split in other decks where you don't want to destroy squirrels. I'm not sure about this card. I don't know why they're adding like basically a carbon copy of another card. Once again, they might change it. But yeah, next up, Gwenpool. Unrevealed, double this card's power. Okay, so this is a 2-1, and it works just like Deadpool, right? But instead of being when destroyed, it's when played, double the card's power. And also, it's a 2-1 stat line. So I don't think it's really good. I think you have to play it in an unrevealed deck. Yeah, I guess the other way of seeing it, it's a mini Black Panther, right? So you have to play it in the unrevealed deck or a bounce deck. But even though, like, for a bounce deck, you're gonna have to do much more to go get that card back in your hand. Plus, it's not a 1 cost, so Falcon is not gonna trigger her. Yeah, I don't think that card is really good, but it's a fun card once again. Okay, next up, Lady Deathstrike. Oh, that's a cool one. I remember that one. So it's an unrevealed, destroy each card here with less power than this. So actually, I think this card would be played with the last card, Gwenpool, where it would be a deck where you try to buff your card before playing them or as playing them, right? So you would play like Okoye, Nakia, Forge, all those cards that buff the next card played. And yeah, destroy each card here with less power than this. So it's a 5-3. So 5-3, destroy all cards with 2 power. I don't think it just by itself it does a lot. It can for sure, but I think most of the time another 5 cost would be better. So yeah, I think if you're able to get her plus 2 power, and she's gonna destroy all cards with 4 power, so 1 to 4 power, that's really good, right? Or 4 power. It can even go below 1 power, obviously. Yeah, I guess this card could also be played in the discard package, where you could trigger your destroy card. Sorry, so destroy package. Yeah, you could destroy your Bucky Barnes. You could destroy your Wolverine, your Deadpool, but still for like a 5 power, I don't think you should use it as a destroy package or a destroy tool for your destroy deck. I think it's gonna have to make its own archetype. Legion, unreveal, replace each other location with this one. Wow, that is crazy for 5/7. How could that be played? What location could be really crazy with that one? I guess it's going to be really location dependent. But still, the 5/7 stat line is a really good stat line for having a really crazy effect like that. I'm imagining you could play it in Wakanda, so then all the lanes would be protected. That's a really good play. You could play it in like Shuri's Lab, have a lot of Shuri's Lab. The possibilities are really endless. But yeah, that's a crazy card. I'm excited for that one. And then the last one, my favorite, I think, it's J. Jonah Jameson, which is the which works at the Daily Bugle, which is ongoing. Your emotes are rooters. For 1/1, your emotes are rooters. So I'm guessing this is going to be like a louder emotes. It's going to be a way to, or maybe it's going to scream or whatnot. I'm super excited for that card. Obviously, it's terrible. It's horrible. You should never play it. But it's really funny. It's a really funny card. We'll have to see what it does, but I'm getting that one for sure. I think that's my favorite card. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. That was all the Datamine cards. These are really interesting cards. I wanted to do a video like so every time there's new Datamine cards, so we can have like an idea of what is to come. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye, guys. Take care.